Hello everyone, my name is Kevin Epps, the creator and organizer of Digital Brilliance Hour, and I'm also a team lead at Cisco. The world of coding and tech is growing and taking shape even more. The demand for technical talent is at an all-time high, and the demand for learning is at an all-time high. But being someone who has been in the hiring seat for many years, I can tell you that there are a lot of mistakes that beginner programmers make when they want to pursue a career in development. And these are things that most companies don't tell people just starting out. So I'll be more than happy to share this information about the different mistakes you want to avoid when pursuing a development career. Avoiding these mistakes will help you be an irreplaceable asset anywhere you go. And while I'm telling you this, I'm going to play through some Streets of Rage remake because in my off time, I do like to get some gaming in here and there. So let's get started. I want to learn this language and that language and that language. All right, I'm going to just start out with the big one. One thing that most, if not all companies do is follow the technology trends. There are so many different languages, and the title of being the hottest language changes very often. For a little while, it was Pascal, then C, then C++, and then ASP, then Java, then PHP, then Ruby on Rails, and now Python. Next is probably going to be Golang. And I know I missed a bit because, again, it changes very often, right? When I gave this list, I'm sure that many of you have heard these languages and got a quick trigger of memory from hearing them. That's because in this development industry, whatever is considered the top language, other companies follow and then start looking for talent in those languages. So then people decide, and we'll use Python for instance, decide that, hey, I want to get into programming, so maybe I should learn Python so I can get one of these jobs out here. While that's somewhat true, let's say that you learn Python though, get that dream job, and in 6 months, the company decides that they want to shift to Golang, which is an up-and-coming language provided by Google. How will you adapt to this new direction? You've put so much time into learning Python, and the company isn't going to give you the same amount of time to learn Golang. And once they see that you're not picking up Golang as fast as possible, or as fast as they would like, you can go ahead and kiss that dream job goodbye. This happens all the time. So the first thing that a beginner programmer should do is first learn the fundamentals of reading and writing programming languages. Because if you can understand the fundamentals of what makes a programming language, you can adapt to any programming language because they all follow the same rules and fundamentals. They just have slightly different ways about executing those rules. You really could equate programming languages to speaking languages. A person who speaks English versus someone who speaks Kiswahili both use punctuation to give direction or emphasis to their sentences. But the word used in both languages are different. If you know how to use punctuation and the fundamentals of reading and writing, you're at least able to tell that the other language is asking a question, for instance. Same logic is applied to programming languages. If you know the building blocks of what makes a programming language a language, then adapting to a new language and understanding its subtle nuances will be much faster. And that means you are way more marketable because you're able to keep up with the company's constant changing in direction. And I do mean constant. Even your own constant change in direction, because a career in tech doesn't necessarily mean working for a company because you can also own your own. So don't ever count that possibility out. I actually encourage it. Next up, my plan is to go to school and get this degree. And once I get it, I'll get a development job easily. As someone who thought the same way when I graduated from college, it does not work out that way at all. It doesn't even matter if a company has an entry-level position available. Back when I graduated, there were these entry-level programs that professed that they would take a college grad to build them up. But what they didn't tell you or didn't say was that they want you to have at least 1 year of work experience. I mean, right, I know, right? I mean, how can I have work experience when I'm just graduating? Again, this isn't something that they tell you. There are many different ways that you can get work experience while in school or even outside of being in a degree program. But degrees do make it slightly easier to get in. Don't get it twisted now. If you're in college, your best bet is to find internships and training programs starting your freshman year. Yeah, your freshman year, because once you graduate, you'll have accumulated at least 3 years of work experience and the degree, which makes you a lot more marketable for entry-level positions. I know companies profess entry-level, but truth be told, they don't have the time to properly build someone up and train them to be a highly efficient developer. They only have time to train you in what they are doing. They want you to already have the fundamentals instilled, and if the training can be done within 2 weeks, all the better, if that. So internships and training programs are huge. Even boot camps help more than simply having a degree. But it also depends on what the boot camp teaches as well. Our program, Digital Brilliance Hour, is a combination of both a boot camp and an internship. We teach fundamentals and give you real-world experience, and by the time you've completed all of the program, you'd have at least 3 years of work experience that you can show, or use that experience to build your own company. You'll learn all about the different factions of a company and development. If you want to learn more about this program and how you can get involved, feel free to go to digitalbrilliancehour.com, link in description, to find out more. Maybe after you watch the video. All right. So before I go into the next one, I just want to mention that if you're digging this video and what's being said, please feel free to click on the like button and share this with your friends and others who need to hear this. There will be way more content in helping build more developers and engineers out there. So if you want to be kept up to date with all of our efforts and to keep you informed and trained, consider subscribing and clicking on the notification bell to get notifications, as the YouTube algorithm is very finicky. We also have a Digital Brilliance blog, link to that in the description, that can help you stay up to date as well with our content and other endeavors. All right, next up, if I get into programming, I can make around $100K a year easily. Now, let me give you a disclaimer first. Let's start with the disclaimer here. I am in no way trying to say that you can't make any money in this field, but I would rather you have an accurate view of what you're getting into. So typically, an entry-level developer averages around 40K. Reaching up to 120K also means that you're a manager of some sort or a senior level developer. The higher you go in the company, like a director and above, that's when you start to see the money like 170K and above. But right off the bat, no. So if you're going into this thinking that if I get me an entry-level job right out of college, I'll be set, stop thinking like that. I will say, however, that working for a company gives you access to benefits, 401k that can be maximized, and even stock options. There are 3 kinds of workers, and we all fit in these categories, I feel. Worker number 1. Someone who just wants to work for a company, stay with them for 30 years, and retire with benefits. That's all they're trying to do. All right. Number 2, someone who wants to work for a company for experience in many different situations and learn about the business from that experience to then open up their own business in some way. Worker number 3, someone who just wants to own their own business and leave it at that. Now, when you own your own business or become a consultant, you may be liable to make those higher numbers a lot more quickly, but it will require a lot of business administration work, and that's totally a separate video. But there are a lot of channels out there that talk about how to build successful businesses and passive income. I will say though, a programmer can be essential in this overwhelming spike of small businesses opening up. So just saying. Something to look out for. There's enough work for everyone. So let's keep all of this in mind. Working full-time for a company seems safer as it's steady, but you don't make nearly as much as you're worth. Owning your company, once the work is put in and you follow the steps to be in a position to be successful, will definitely earn you a lot closer to your worth, as that's something you control. It requires a lot more work, so choose wisely. One more free nugget. If you're serious about getting into programming and development, we have a free checklist to help you train yourself to build up your engineering mindset. It's full of tips that don't require any technical knowledge, as it's more about training your mind and building it up for what's needed in the development field. The link to get this free checklist is in the description. Alright guys, I'm gonna stop right here. But I may make this a small series because I see a lot of mistakes that up-and-coming programmers just aren't told, so they can bypass them. So look out for the next part of this in a few weeks. Again, if you appreciated what was shared, feel free to leave a comment or even ask any questions you may have, as we are very serious in helping with filling in any gaps people may have with regards to development. Also, like this video to show your appreciation, share the video, and subscribe if you want to stay up to date with what we're doing and how you can be involved. Don't forget to click the notification bell if you take this route. Check the description for any additional information to ensure you got everything you could out of this video. Again, I'm Kevin. Be brilliant, everyone, and I will see you soon. Peace.